So, by the video's title, you're probably wondering how in the world are you able to get a Titanic within a day? Well, let's talk about this. I was skeptical at first to go ahead and attempt this because I don't necessarily play Pets Go that often, and when I do, it's for interesting reasons. This was no exception. I found somebody on Twitter randomly saying there is a new broken method, how to craft a Titanic obsidian dragon in one day with only one account in Pets Go. They created a thread on this. We're gonna go over this and read it out loud so everybody else can go ahead and read along with me. Yay, reading. So this is the post that the person did create. Their name is Jaw on Twitter. So what they noticed is the moment that you go into the event, you're not gonna have any luck based off of any potions, any items, or even better yet, any pets. But what they did notice is the double your luck game pass area in the shop, which you can purchase in increments, that was not adjusted. This is the part that I was completely skeptical about and kind of weary on spending my Robux on. However, after this video and many other content creators are posting this, I do have a fair warning just in case. Tread carefully with this method, as at any moment, of course, this can be patched, fixed, or adjusted. So just want to throw that out there just in case as a pre-warning for any changes that may come. So first things first is making sure that you are in the platinum ore area, and this is just to get the most out of the fossils. And this is correct, you will get between anywhere from 5 fossils all the way up to 100 fossils from this. We'll go over what we're using in this video as far as the pickaxe and the enchants that I'm currently using, as well as boosts. That way you guys can get an idea. Secondly, the double your luck game pass thingy. This is where most of the luck comes in when it comes from the mining robot to the obsidian dragon. This is the part where maybe a lot of you guys are not able to get the Robux for this, but this is 100% needed. Otherwise, this method will not work. In doing so, when you convert your pets, this is how many you're gonna basically get. And I ended up doing this, and this was the skeptical part about where I was coming from. I wasn't sure if this was still gonna work or if it was just a bunch of baloney. It was a bunch of baloney. But it's actually true, so this is the reason why we're making the video. So you could be spending anywhere between $5 to $10 depending on how long this actually takes you, which is actually insane to think about. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it with the rest of the stuff. And for Jaw, thank you so much for sharing this for absolutely everybody to go ahead and take advantage of ASAP. Alright, so how quickly you're able to break these makes a huge difference. Obviously, when you do have the best pickaxe in the game, this is going to take little to no time to go ahead and break the little ore. However, for those that are not able to afford the pricey price tag that these two do have, we're going to go ahead and showcase the next best thing, which is the molten pickaxe. At 45 to maybe even 50 million gems, this is actually not that bad. Obviously, you guys are watching me break the ore, and it doesn't take that long. You do have to wait in between, like once you do break the orb and when it spawns in, that's inevitable. We're gonna have to wait and sit here and just wait for that to come back. So the faster that you're able to break this, sure, you're gonna get your ores faster. However, you're still gonna have to wait for that cooldown period. So I do 1 billion damage per tick, and that's absolutely fine. So afterwards, once you get a pickaxe that you feel like is necessary for this, you're going to go ahead and just add in 2 speeds and a strength. And for me specifically, I know that the little loot one is really nice, but it's not necessary for this because it only increases your chances of increased drops from ores. You're going to get fossils regardless, either way, and I feel like maybe having this on here is just going to be a waste of space, so I ended up opting it out for 2 of the speed and 1 of the strength. And then obviously you're going to let this run, and I let mine run kind of somewhat overnight. This was in a period of maybe a little under 5 hours. It looks like my recording shows 4 hours and 46 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and speed this up, and we're gonna go ahead and see what the results of this are within that 5-hour period. We'll estimate it's 5 hours. And respectfully, I am gonna blur this because when you're hatching on this game specifically, you're gonna get flashbang, and I don't think you guys want to end up getting blind. Alright, so after all of that, I am going to go ahead and increase and try this out with 16 rather than 32. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now, and now we're going to go ahead and start converting each pet. As you can tell, I am going to be a little hesitant on actually doing all of them all at once, but you're going to notice immediately I'm going to just get robots and dragons. And I'm going to go ahead and assume if you do go to 30 times luck on the boost, this might increase your chances of getting more obsidian dragons versus the robots. Though I haven't really done this because I don't feel like spending 399 Robux rather than the 200 that I just spent right now. Oh boy, I hope you guys are ready for this too, because once you're done, holy cow, dude, you end up getting so many of these, but get ready to race against time for how many huges you could spawn in, because each and every single huge that you go ahead and get, it's gonna group it up as one cutscene. So if you hatch 4 or 5 eggs at a time, that's okay, but you're still gonna have to be forced to watch one cutscene during this time, and you're gonna rinse and repeat that until you get the amount of huges that you need to be converted. And let me tell you, I was here for a good second doing this. I want to say I was here for like 5-6 minutes competing against time to just convert the dragons to the piggies, and I'm gonna have to do this again with the next huge. Elk traded me randomly during the cutscene, so he's gonna go ahead and give me some stuff. He knows I've really been into the diamond eggs recently when the update first came out, so he's gonna give me a ton of these, and he's gonna give me a ton of other huges for this event. I hope this is gonna be enough for the very end to make a Titanic, otherwise I'm gonna come out with a video saying, hey guys, you can make a Titanic with $5, and I'm not gonna have a Titanic made at all because my impatience is astounding during this. So he's giving me a mining robot, some piggies, a giraffe, a dinosaur. That's a crocodile. I don't want to talk about that. Okay, thank you, Elk. Oh my god. Alright, so you guys already know I'm going to go ahead and mine while I'm editing and stuff. So now we're going to go ahead and convert some more. And to be honest, within that 1 to 2 hour period of time, I forgot what it was, it's not that bad actually. So I only got 1 gem mole out of this, which is fine because I do need to have a gem mole to go ahead and convert. I need 1 more. So I could go ahead and make 12 dragons. And now I could go ahead and make some more pigs. Oh my gosh, how many of these do you need? So we need 20 to make a obsidian dragon. Okay, so I gotta race against time. I gotta race, please. Okay, this is like the moment of truth. Like, you have to do this as quickly as possible. Okay, so this is the cutscene that you're gonna have to like basically watch while you're in here. And I mean, granted, it's only gonna take a few seconds to go ahead and watch this, but if you're racing with like a ton of these dragons, it's gonna add up over time and you're gonna lose your mind. All right, so we made our piggy. Now we can go ahead and do this again. So how many is this? It's a few actually. So we're gonna have to be here for a minute. So we're gonna have to create some more. All right, going. And then that something wrong pops up every single time. All right, that's 3, 4. Looks like I can make 5 and that's it. Okay, boom. Watch this again. I'm crying. I'm mining and I look so confused like, huh? Oh my god. Dude, I can't believe I made myself laugh. Okay, now I can go ahead and start making the mining robots, and I can make 3 out of this, right? 1, 2, 3. No! Make the 3rd one! Alright, now we got our 3rd one in. Oh, okay, I got an invisible one. What? Oh my god! Okay, so based on what you guys saw within that 4 or 5 hour period of time, I know we're going to skip to part 4 within their post. So based on what we did today and based off of what they're saying here now is every 5,000 fossils, you will get somewhere around 200 to 300 obsidian dragons, which is 15 huge minecart pigs. And only in 1 to 2 hours, depending on the type of pickaxe and enchantments with scrolls, this picture is with 32 times luck, which is like $5 worth of Robux. So remember how I did 16 times? There was a reason behind it. If you're extracting your fossils using this method, using the luck, of course you're going to want to get to 32 times luck to go ahead and increase those chances so those fossils end up being just purely dragons. The dragons is what you want to focus on primarily versus the robots. The more dragons you have, the less time that you have to wait in between for converting and extracting fossils from unnecessary pets such as the mole and the robot. So the less robots that you have, the better, because you just skip an entire process, which is converting the gem mole to the robot to just purely the dragon. Now, for everybody out there, I know there's gonna be a difference between people wanting to pay Robux for this method versus those that cannot get Robux, and trust me, I feel you on this. Though I feel like maybe perhaps this is one of those methods that weren't really meant to be inside of the game, because normally when we have stuff like this, luck is never supposed to affect any of this. So this might have just been one of those things that just went through and it just ended up getting caught and we took advantage of it. Which is kind of why I heed the warning. This is discretional. Be warned, this may or may not be fixed. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the 32 times. So this is the 5th tier, and it's going to be around $5 to maybe $10, depending on the currency of how much each tier costs. So we're gonna go ahead and convert. I officially have almost 10,000 of these. So I'm a little scared. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it did reduce the amount of robots that I did end up getting previously, and it kind of made it almost somewhat a little even, almost just a bit over even. And then I can go ahead and create 17. Then I can, oh my god, dude. I'm gonna be here forever. I'm gonna be here forever. I just have to hope that I'm able to get it in time. So I gotta do this process all over again, guys. Okay, so after a bajillion years, I finally finished it out. So these are all the pigs that I was able to get within about an hour or an hour and a half or so. So let me go ahead and see how many of these I can go ahead and create. So based off of all of that, I can create one of the mining robots. To be honest, getting this like every hour is not that bad. If you were to get this every single hour, you only need 20 of these to go ahead and create the Titanic. Or if you go onto the trade hub and you purchase one, if you want to just reduce some of the time it takes. This technically means if you were to get this to be an hour a huge, or huge an hour, this would only take 20 hours to go ahead and complete out. So it's under 1 day if you just stay in here and you just mine. Now, the one thing I could definitely say is the less people that are here, this is like a thing that I usually have. If there's people in the server that are on top of what you're doing, you have to be the faster person to break the ore in order to actually get the benefits of getting the most ores out of it. Otherwise, you're not going to get as many as you really want. So the only thing I could really say is if you're in a server with like bots, for example, like here, go into a private server or just the server by yourself if possible in the server list and just chill there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only need a few more, 14 or something at this point, and that shouldn't take too long if I decide to go sell some things and just buy the extra additional huges to go ahead and create the Titanic. But 1 day, under a day, is kind of crazy. Unfortunately, I don't know if the event is going to continuously stay tomorrow, so it's so hard to tell. But either way, whether you choose to go ahead and trade this method to basically get gems off of the mining robot, within 5 hours, you could make at least 600 million gems so long as the huges do not go down in value. Or maybe if you're lucky enough, you might be able to craft the Titanic based on the gem value that you already have. But like I said before, I don't know if this was intentional or not. Either way, the risk is there just in case if it gets patched or fixed. Until then, hopefully you guys get some good luck. And for those that cannot get Robux, I am so sorry. I feel so bad.
Okay, bye.